I'm so excited. I just can't hide it. Hey guys, we're back. Shattered Worlds RPG. I'm Jeff, your lore master. Who we got in the studio tonight?
My name's Karin Zoe Lee.
What's up, Karin?
What's up?
You play a Lunari magic user by the name of
Hlina Antimony.
Hlina Antimony. This is a very important episode. Our listeners know, everybody knows, we have 3 players that have yet to connect with the group at the doors to the Deepwell Fortress. One of them is Karin Zoe Lee. Anthony, your thoughts?
I have thoughts. I don't actually have any thoughts. It's exciting that we're all going to end up meeting eventually. Probably.
Now, what's special about Karin is that of all the other people in the entire group, she's the only one that knows who all of them are.
Mm.
She knows the ins, she knows the outs. She's very knowledgeable. And she also has this cool precognition ability. So it's going to be fun. We also have Steve on the line. What's up, Steve?
Hey, how's it going?
Steve had to move to Lansing, Michigan, but through the power of technology, we're able to get him here to join us. I don't know if Facebook's picking up Steve, but he's there. So
A little bit.
yeah. It's hard getting screens to watch screens, you know.
I think if his room was a little dimmer.
Oh, yeah. Steve, just put your face right up to the...
Or, sit in the dark.
Oh, it's going to be dark. Oh, I bet he's going to light a cigar and be all like super spooky. Oh my God, guys. This is freaking me out. Is it coming on the screen at all?
No.
Yeah, it is now.
Steve,
Oh,
do you have a cigar or anything you can light? Do you have a candle to put under your chin?
it looks more like a face now. Oh, he's still back.
Oh, that's spooky. No, he did that on purpose.
He's just a silhouette.
Oh, that is freaky. You're freaking me out. I just got chills. Ugh.
I feel like he needs one of those voice warping things.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I stabbed her 17 times. She was a real bitch.
I was going to do that, but
This is like a guy on a prison show, and he's admitting to it, but he's not. Never mind. It doesn't.
found the body.
Okay, so Steve, we're gonna find out how Hlina survives. What's the last thing you remember, Hlina? Karin,
I had to surrender. Yeah.
you had to surrender.
Interrogated by me.
Yes.
So the last thing you remember, you were being interrogated?
Oh, wait, hang on. We surrendered, and then I met him.
You met Talon. He was the guy that was flying.
Yes. That was right after that.
Right.
Did you see your supervisor get dealt justice?
Yeah, she was in a mind link with the 3 of us.
The 3 of you.
Do you remember Telek being...
Her
Killed?
and...
Mhm.
I remember knowing about it, but I don't know that I saw it.
So the last thing you remember is being picked up, so we'll just go from there?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I know he died, but I don't know.
Okay, Steve's doing fireworks over here. This lightsaber pen or whatever.
That actually looks cool on the Facebook feed. It's lighting up the whole screen.
Nice. So yeah, let's... You're on your knees, hands behind your back, cuffed. You're with the few of you that are left alive. There's probably, I don't know, Anthony, 10, 15 people left.
Where?
Just don't
in
remember
the-
me doing Darth Vader chokehold on the
I remember
front?
that. And the one guy that was with me thought that he could try and take him, and he got...
The other grunt tried to attack me, tried to rush me and attack me.
Yeah.
Oh, in the tent. That's right. They were holding the prisoners in groups of 2. I went through this with Yifrim. Yifrim Lost One Unfortunately, one of the prisoners didn't make it
Oh,
on Yefrem's side. So Talon choked the guy,
yeah.
talked to you. What did you learn from Karin?
Actually, I was just in the midst of doing a mind bond with her when we had to end the episode.
There we go. Okay, so Karin, would you have agreed to accept a bunch of knowledge and memories from this weird guy?
I think at this point I didn't feel like I had a whole lot of choice. And
Okay.
however reluctantly...
Okay, so Steve, then how much would you have shared with this lady? Like all the way back to your childhood or like just recent events?
Recent events.
Okay.
Can he access mine at will, or just what I'm willing to share? 'Cause
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
just
have-
whatever you're willing to share, and then he can kind of explore beyond that. But
Okay.
that's a good starting point. Basically, ask each other questions and fill each other in.
Your mind is unique, my dear. It holds many things I don't quite understand.
Go on.
Indeed.
Okay, Steve, I'm just going to jump in here. Karin,
Okay.
is there anything you want to know of Steve? About Steve, about what he's been through?
Side, though, right? He's kind of...
You just met. Everyone here was supposedly your enemy until you realized that they were working with the Brothers of Light, which just, boom, all of a sudden you don't want to fucking be here anymore. And, like, you just want to stay alive, I assume?
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. That's why I'm like, is there anything that he knows that would be even relevant? I mean, that would be my jumping off point. But if I ask him that, was he like, oh, yeah, I should tell you all of this? I don't know.
See, the trouble is, Steve, she doesn't know how much you would tell the others. And she's got a lot of secrets. So, you want to just stick to your cover identity then, which is mercenary, working off books, cop.
He knows better, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, you came here to do this thing, and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
From him, I'm not sure what you'd want to know other than why should you trust him?
Yeah, exactly.
So he'd show you that it's got nothing to do with you or your bosses. It's all about finding out what happened to this science team that was wiped out. And there's an artifact that some young man took with him out of this area, and that is the thing. According to Talon, that's the thing that they probably are looking for. And you two basically work it out together that, they probably don't want anyone else to find out where it came from, because then they might find out what it is. And what it is might be incredibly important, more important than you could possibly imagine. There's just too many secrets and too many walls for two people like yourselves who pride yourselves on knowing everything to have no idea like what's really going on. Like, this must be a very powerful object indeed. Or the boy that took it, or the fact that they were all killed. Steve, would you tell her who you think is behind the deaths?
I can't remember his name. He was one of the fish people, one of the native people.
The king?
No. I think his name started with a P.
Oh, poor Jelaine. King Hungadurk's brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jubertus Porgelain. Nobody's seen him. You haven't met any of his people, but Hungadurk says anyway that Porgelain has this group of fighting men that work in the shadows called the Young Gizik, and they just murder people willy-nilly.
Would I sense the closed-off portions of Helena's mind?
Maybe. I'm going to say roll a D10 and I'll roll the contest, because she's not really in control of that stuff. So I'm going to roll for her programming based on the skill of her programmers. Okay, I found a die. Go ahead.
19 total.
Okay. So you know what you were saying about how much can he learn or whatever? Like, there's a certain point at which even if you might want to share, like you can't. But once you've opened the door to someone like him, they can just start digging.
Shopping.
And you didn't quite make enough to crack the mystery, Steve. So you can either use an action point to bump that up or be satisfied with what I'm about to tell you.
I'll be satisfied because I don't have an action point.
You don't have any left?
I don't think so.
Okay. Cool. There are parts of Hlina's mind that are as if they don't exist. And not like parts like you've sometimes found with certain individuals where like a wizard or somebody has blocked off parts of their memories. This is like whole parallel processing as if there's more than one person inside her and you can't see any of them.
Like a consciousness under a consciousness.
Right, like there's more than one person inside of her. And you feel like I don't know if you've ever done one of those puzzles where you have to like move two pieces and then move them around. There's like 9 of them or 27 of them or whatever, and there's one missing, and you're constantly like moving it around to like move that one piece all the way to some other side or whatever. It's kind of like that,
Right.
where you could probably start moving, but you don't know where it'd end up. And you don't know what effect it could have on her, like, in the moment. It could have disastrous consequences. You don't know.
Okay.
Now, I do know you have at least one legend point left over. So, of course, in this and in any other thing, you could always use that to great effect. But if you're not going to use it now, I'm going to move along. Karin,
Because of the time restraint that we have as far as the area and preparing her for a fight, I think we'll wait for that for a later date.
Okay, cool. So you just file it away in your Rolodex. You're like, this lady's pretty complicated.
Yep.
Karin, this interrogation is just wrapping up. Is there anything you want to say or do or want to learn from him?
Is the intent to just leave me in the tent where I am? Am I still in the tent?
For now, this interaction's almost over, but something obviously will happen right after that.
Okay.
Or are you trying to get him to break you out?
Not necessarily. I don't really know. I don't even know that he would respond favorably to requests like that, or if I would just end up in more trouble.
Okay.
So
He's very careful, this Hlina. Cautious.
she's trying to make it out alive because this is a mission. It's more than just her own life at this point. It's like,
Well, yeah, now you
if I
have
die,
10 other
Yeah.
soldiers like that you feel responsible for. So, yeah,
And I
it's
might
tricky.
be subject to torture. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I'll still be able to play.
Okay, so, Steve, that's it for that encounter, I guess. So you move on to interrogate someone else?
Yeah.
Okay, so then he knows what all happened after that for him. So, for you, you start to get a little shut-eye, but, like, right before you fall asleep, a bunch of ghillies come in and they drag your friend out, and they put a sentry right outside the door. So apparently, for some reason, every prisoner has to be by themselves from now on for the rest of the evening.
No, I don't remember that. Because I interrogated her too.
At the same time as him?
No, later.
Oh, later.
Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, fill us in. I can't remember anything. Fill us in, Anthony. What happened next?
Well, so I came in, and I don't remember exactly what my motivation was. So you may have, because it's been like 3 weeks or whatever.
This never happens, but I might have to retcon something, like,
So I
reality.
had some motivation to, like, talk to these people. Oh, I remember her from when she worked at the police department.
Yep.
Right. So I wanted to find out what she was doing there. So I charmed the king into letting me go talk to her.
Yes.
And I came into the tent, and it was very tense because she didn't want to talk in front of her. There was another soldier in the tent.
Okay. So that guy's still there.
Yeah. So, and he was like an old geezer, like an old veteran. but she didn't want to talk in front of him. So I nerve pinched him and knocked him out.
Ah, yes.
And then we chatted and we had a conversation, and I agreed to talk to the king to release her under my custody because for whatever I sweet talked the king and he was all cool with me.
Ah, yes. So it was your custody. I was under the impression that it was under Yifrim's custody.
Yeah, but it was I think it was working with Yifrim. We were both we were both sweet talk because that's what we both do. We were both sweet talking the king a little bit.
Okay, so here's what happened. This gorgeous drop of water, is that a thing? I don't know. Tall drink of water.
Tall drink of water.
Came in, and he's a Zentrite. You know what Zentrites are, right? So he is the guy that everybody thinks assassinated Erasmus Abelborn. He's the one that kicked off this entire fucking conflagration. But unlike the rest of these mooks, you know for a fact that he did not do any of that, that he was framed. He's a patsy. And so you have a little sympathy for him. And also you don't give a shit. Like, you know, you're not on the asteroid to be a hero or anything.
Do I know the truth, or do I just know that he's not lying to me?
You know for a fact that he's not the person that assassinated Abelborn, that it was a professional, that it was somebody that came here for a short time and then left.
I can just tell by how the murder was done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and also just some stuff you've heard that we
Gotcha.
don't need to bore the other players with that information. And so, yeah, you kind of have some sympathy for him. He got into this stupid resistance movement because it was his only other play, right? He's, otherwise he goes to prison or whatever and probably gets killed in prison because it's a whole big secret. And you also know that it was done in part to kick off this crackdown that will enable the Yifrit to have a dedicated fuel deal with the asteroid and with the SSC in defiance of Lunari Convention. And so it's a real big power play. It's a big move. And you thought that you'd be here just to kind of usher things along because it was good for your boss. It was good for business. And then you got this job. And she didn't tell you shit. All you knew was that you were supposed to, on behalf of the police, kind of advise on this mission. That's why they dropped you off to the south of the village to be a spotter. You were supposed to be there to get as much intelligence as you could and report back. And instead, the Brothers of Light showed up, massacred most of your people, and now you're their prisoner. In walks this guy. He's got some questions for you. You're like, yeah, sure, whatever. Do you remember what you learned from her?
I don't. I don't remember, unfortunately.
Well, let's just roleplay it then.
All right.
Character voices. Jazz hands.
So look, I need to know where you stand, and if you work with me, I can help get you out of here.
Work with you? How?
Well, I need some information. I need to know what you're doing here, why your men are here. What I don't know what is going on. I was just told to come here, and I'm out of character. I'm kind of having a hard time remembering what I was even doing here in the first place.
You're here on behalf of the Resistance.
To look for the artifact?
You're here to help the brothers.
The Brothers of Light.
And help them survive against this crazy assault team.
Right.
You're also here with Yifrim to protect the scientist. Right? That was your original duty if you had taken this job. So Yifrim's supposed to protect the scientist. You're supposed to protect everybody from getting wiped out by this assault team. You've pretty much done your job.
Right.
So at this point...
Right, we were following the assault team.
Yeah. So at this point, you could probably even go back and get paid, but Yifrim thinks you guys should look after the brothers to make sure you all get paid.
Yeah. Okay,
So-
that sounds good. And I'm curious because things fell apart with the police force, and now they're all over the place. Some are working with the mob, some are...
So, Karin, would you tell this Patsy anything?
I don't think I know anything that would... I mean, I'm kind of here on a mission. I don't know much about myself. And then my people got wiped out. So the mission's over. Now I'm just trapped here.
Okay. who gave you this mission? Who assigned this?
If you're looking for names, I don't have that.
Okay, but you gotta take your orders from somebody, right?
Yeah.
I just want to know who you're working for because I'm sure the resistance is gonna want to know like what they're up against.
You gonna throw out some names?
Otherwise, I can leave you here to the mercies of Gungadurk, and that's unfortunate, but
No, it's police.
the police.
Okay, so Yifrim walks in, and he's rebuttoning his shirt sleeves, and you notice like a few little drops of blood on the back of one of his hands, and he kind of like shakes his watch, and then he pops his collar, and he like kneels down next to Hlina, and he's like, "Hey there, young lady. I've heard great things about your professionalism, and I just want to welcome you to the village, and you're going to be in need of some legal representation, and I would like to provide it."
All I am seeing is the chicken from Futurama, the chicken lawyer. You know what I'm talking about?
He says, "Rhea, give me a minute."
All right. Well,
He walks you to the edge of the tent, and he's like, "Did you find out who she's working for?"
No.
All right. He pats you on the back like, "Good try there, little tiger." And then he walks in, and he says, he looks down at Hlina, and he's like, "Listen, I don't care who's paying your bills. I would like to represent you. I know you claim to work for the police. We all know that's a cover story. You're obviously much better trained than your average police. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's obvious. It's almost like he's trying to do a Columbo on you and kind of like make you think he's just a dumb country bumpkin or whatever." And he's like, "And I know you're not working for Papa Junzel, because I know everybody that's working for Papa Junzel, and you're not one of them. So, I promise to get you and your men out of here alive, if you can just tell me who's really pulling the strings on this one." And he leans back onto the bed with the passed out guy on it, and he reaches over and grabs what's left of the sandwich that guy was eating before he didn't eat his dinner, so he's eating his dinner and waiting for you to respond.
Wow, this guy's a real lady killer, isn't he?
Oh, he's a badass.
This guy seems slimy. I don't really want to tell him anything. Sorry.
So you're just going to look at him? Listen.
I like him better.
He's like, "Listen. There's a chance that you could be taken prisoner with these others, put to work, made to stay here for, I don't know, who knows how long. But I'm getting out of here alive. And so are my friends from the resistance. So I'm willing to offer you the opportunity to work for us. I've got another guy who's taken the deal. He's another officer. He's a Yafrit, like Yifrim. He's a Yafriti mercenary. He just came to the asteroid. And if he took the deal, that means he must have talked. So, that's one less officer that you can rely on, So you feel things, the ground is shaky under your feet.
So, Yifrim already knows?
Yifrim knows that something else is going on. That this isn't about the Brothers of Light or the artifact or even the asteroid. That something bigger is going on, and he wants to know who the players are. And he's like, "Listen, I can keep your head off that chopping block. If these folks find out who the officers are that served under Telek, you can imagine how those officers are going to be looking after the trial of the century."
The dead ones?
Those officers, Hlina, are going to be looking down from on top of the king's palace on spear points. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to help you out. Just give me something.
do I even have the answers he's looking for?
Every thought in your brain is telling you, yes, you know exactly what he's looking for, but you can't give it to him. Because if anybody knows who she is or what she does for a living, you're dead. Everybody you've ever loved is dead. Like, you cannot ever betray Mabisa.
So that's the answer he's looking for. He's not looking for some general...
No.
Wants to narrow it
Friends,
down to the...
General Chaz Colburn, fucking Papa Junzel, he knows all that.
Right.
He wants real names, real heavy hitters, real players. You don't know who the guy is on the Yafrit side, the Emperor, somebody big and powerful over there. Probably because he's a Yafrit, he probably knows already. So, anyway, that's what's up. So he just kind of watches you for a little while, looks at you, like, just wait. And he's like, all right, this food sucks. I'm going to go get something better at the King's tent. So I'll be seeing you. It's real nice to make your acquaintance. And he reaches out his hands like as if, you put your hand out, he'll kiss it.
I wish I could say the same.
Oh, baby.
Is that Scott's character?
Yes.
We haven't even played together yet.
Shit.
Is it the voice he
Sort of.
He's got a little less panache. Jeff puts a little spin on him.
It's like, well, I'm going to go talk to the king. We're going to figure this all out. I'm sure it's going to be fine.
I like Jeff's version better.
Yeah.
Oh, don't tell Scott.
Yeah. I don't remember how we came to an amicable agreement, but we...
Not in her presence, so
Yeah.
we'll just do the stuff she remembers.
All
So,
right.
You're left alone. Somebody comes in and drags that guy out. That's the end of it. You can go to sleep. It's about 3 a.m. at this point.
Me as well.
Okay, so you get roused awake by a bell, and somebody shouts in, "Prisoner,
Yeah.
sit up, head to the bed. No funny business." It's one of the Gilmorian guards.
Yell at me.
Okay, so you sit up. Okay. Do you want to use any of your powers? You got precognition. What else?
Well,
I remember now what happened.
Okay.
She got a precognitive flash of me while we were talking that she needed to hang out with my character for some reason.
Yes. That's right. If you remember, there's a cleavage point in your precognitions where it's like all the many possible variables, they all kind of like congeal down into 2 distinct choices.
okay.
And one is to go with Yifrim. And it gives you the opportunity of returning to your old life and being powerful and successful and notorious and your own person. And over here is Anthony. You don't know what the hell's going on in that other future, but it's a whole lot more complicated and scary, and yet the possibility for redemption.
Redemption.
Maybe even doing good for once in your life.
Oh, man.
Don't listen to the evil voices.
Take the evil future.
So we'll hold off on the decision then. Anthony thought that you had decided, but
Did I?
Yeah,
Did
no.
we play that?
No.
It'll
Well, we
get a little
kind of
more.
did, but like,
Is there anything specific that we should know before we move forward?
Yeah, well, I'm going to leave in a few minutes, but the I have to listen to the episode to remember, but I remember like you describing she went to a kind of trance, and as we were talking, and then she was like, okay, but I don't know what she decided. She just like,
Right. Okay, so you're in the middle of talking to this Rael character, and then you're waking up the next day. You're being roused awake by the prisoner, and you're like, what the hell? Did that guy drug me? I don't remember a thing. That's it.
Okay.
So,
Here's what I think about her decision.
okay.
Of course, like the power. And on the one hand, the independence, being her own person, is definitely appealing. On the other, I don't know if it would be so much redemption as, well, maybe in a way. It's more remorse, and not so much I need to redeem my character as a person, because I feel responsible. It's sort of, she feels for the victims, honestly. And there's really no way to redeem that. But if there's any kind of chance of, I don't know, resolving that either internally or not, just some kind of closure, maybe? I don't know.
Karin, your character is really complicated.
Is that good? Did I
That's
complicate
good.
it?
No, it's very cool. It's very cool. And it's beautiful, too, because everybody that interacts with you will have a slightly different sense of who you are and what they've learned from that experience and what came out of it and what they think you will have learned from them. But in a way, because of the disjointed nature of our game, it leaves open a lot of possibilities for, like, memory loss and confusion and different ideas and things going back and forth and stuff. It's cool.
Well, I could unlock her mind.
Quit bragging.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna have to bail. So,
I know.
yeah. But hopefully everyone will stay healthy at my house for the next few weeks, and I can be back next week too.
Yeah, buddy.
And we still need to set up a time for Jeff and Casey to come over and do Everything Is Awesome at my house.
Oh, hell yes, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, is that where you do that podcast? Or is that just a...
No, he can do remote.
But he has kids, so it's always hard for him to get over here. So he was saying we could go over there.
Right. And
I'm excited.
my wife tore her hamstring, so she's at home on the couch. Well, one of the reasons I'm going to leave a little early. So, yeah.
That sounds painful.
All right, everybody. Have a good night. Have fun.
You know, on
with the
Meetup,
show.
there should be a section where you can be like, yeah, this guy was really cool, but he said these weird things, and we'd have like a list, and we'd compare notes. You know, and if it was like too creepy, we wouldn't invite it back.
Right. Well, I say a lot of dumb things. I'm very prone to.
Did you just say Barrakranga?
Yeah. No, I am prone to saying dumb things and saying them in an incomprehensible way.
Oh, good times.
Incomprehensible.
Incomprehensible, and I'm sticking to it. Karin, it's good seeing you again.
Likewise.
Steve, good seeing you and the, manner of speaking. All right, Jeff, take it easy.
See you, buddy.
Anthony.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
All right, Karin.
So,
Whenever you're ready.
ready?
So you look up, the tent kind of slides open a little bit, and in walks the woman that murdered Telek, the young, beautiful Gilmorian woman. She has put on a fancy dress, but it's kind of like an adventuring dress, slit up the side, and like tall boots. And she throws a bag down to your feet. And this girl's like 16 or 17 or whatever, but she looks at you as if you're the child, and like, Anthony's back with his phone. For his phone. Bye, Anthony. So anyway, she throws the satchel down by your feet, and then throws a set of keys right next to the hand on the back of behind you on the bed. Throws the keys down next to your hand so you can unlock yourself.
Which I do.
Okay, cool.
Well, I took those off unless someone put them back on.
Oh.
That's a good point.
I was wearing two?
No, Rail, somebody must have put them back on before she went to sleep. Because you're right. They weren't on. You wake up, they're on. So,
Oh, okay.
shut up, Steve. Quit making sense.
Maybe I like it. Maybe I sleep better that way.
So she throws you the keys. I assume you unlock.
Yeah.
Okay. And she kind of turns a little bit so you can see she's got a purse with like a gun sticking out of it. So she's like, no funny business.
Okay.
And she sets a little lantern down on the table nearest the door, and she walks out.
Do I dare look in the bag? Is there like a head in there or something? I guess
It's up to you.
I guess I'll find out. I'm gonna look in that satchel.
Okay, you look in, and there is a complete change of clothes. They're like similar to the clothes she's wearing, but like cut for someone taller, like yourself. They're kind of silky, velvety gray jacket and a cardigan and pants and tall socks and long boots and a sort of miniature headlamp that slots in above your goggles, or like where your goggles would go. Hold on. Hey, what's up? You just missed Anthony.
Hi, Liz.
You must be Casey. Hi, Karen Zoe Lee.
Karen. Nice to meet you.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so Facebook, we're going to finish up this episode, but we're going to do it just for the podcast. So tune in. Go to Shattered Worlds RPG on iTunes, Stitcher, podcast catcher of your choice. Go to our website, shatteredworlds.libsyn.com. Go to the Everything is Awesome with Jeff and Casey page. That's awesomepod.squarespace.com. Karen, how should they find you or reach you?
You can reach me on Facebook better than anything else. I have Twitter. I have Instagram. I don't use them much, but I will be alerted. Or karenzoelee@gmail.com.
Do you have any shows coming up?
I do not. I'm on a writer's hiatus right now.
Ooh,
It
interesting.
means I have writer's block.
Steve, are you still there?
I am.
Okay, cool. So, Steve, you're going to basically, you wake up after. Do you remember the trip you made to the dam?
Yeah.
Damn what? Sorry.
Anywho, when you came back, you went to bed, but you awakened as you realized that Karn's character is leaving the village and going in the same direction as the dam. And so you're going to kind of tag along as a quiet observer.
Okay.
So you won't exhaust yourself walking around, but you'll get to hear what we do. So if you think of any jokes or anything or whatever, let me know.
So I left?
Is this physically or mentally?
Just mentally. And you could even, if you wanted to, go into the astral realm to follow her, but it's up to you. If she gets too far away from the village, you'll... Okay, so you're astrally following her.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you put on the outfit, and you walk out the tent, you look around, there's no guards anywhere, and you see Millicite, Hungadurk's youngest wife, off to the left at the east gate, and she's just standing there waiting for you. You've got that little lantern, and she's just like, puts her hand up like, hello, let's get a move on.
I guess I'm following her, but I haven't really been briefed on what we're doing. I'm just going along with it then? That's cool. I'll do
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So she pushes a button on something, and the gate opens up, and then she pushes a button on her goggles, and a faint white light kind of goes out in front of her. You follow suit, and you realize that the goggles along with the lantern, basically, you can see everything. It's like somehow the way they work together, you can see every tiny microscopic bit of spores and fungus and phosphorescent critters floating through the air, like all life. You suddenly realize that the entire cavern, which seemed so dead and desolate before you left the tent, like is just
like Avatar.
alive all over the place.
Ooh.
Yeah, a little bit. And watching her, you realize that she... You always thought Gillamorians were kind of like dopey and stumpy and like move and blocky, awkward movements, but you realize that really they're so in tune with the earth that it almost looks like she's swimming through this sea of life. And if only there was some water, it'd be like she was flying. But so anyway, she uses the little repulsors on her suit to like make her kind of bounce from rock to rock. And you just feel like a dumb plodding beast behind her. And anyway, she takes you on this long trek to the south of the village, up through the hills, and deep into the depths of the cavern. Up here, it's so dark that there's almost no life at a certain point, and you realize you're coming up on this gigantic, completely smooth, black cliff face, and in the center of it, the dead center of it, there's a hole, and the pathway continues on through that hole, and she stands there waiting for you to get there. Do you want to use any of your powers? Let's look at your character sheet, see what you got.
We have.
Does he sense me?
Only if you'd want her to, but in the astral realm, you just follow her spirit
Okay.
and whatnot.
I'm a little distracted, I think.
Yeah.
So most of what I have is the light spells, precognition, that kind of thing. So I don't.
Precognition. So you feel like whatever's about to happen is destined. Like there's nothing you can do about it, and there's like a big black blank spot where you just can't quite tell what's coming next, and it's really upsetting, unsettling. Roll a shadow check. D10. You got a 1. Oh, bummer. Oh, that's a double bummer.
Looks like a 10 to me.
What's that?
That's a 10.
No, that's a
come
1. It's one of those percentile
I know,
D10s.
you got a double 0 on there somewhere.
So, anywho, you are terrified. You almost don't want to keep walking, but at the same time, you feel compelled. It's a very icky feeling. So you're going to be at -3 to all actions until you can get away from this, whatever it is. You walk through the hole in the cliff face, and then it's this vast open chasm yawning out ahead of you, and this tiny narrow walkway up into another massive cliff face, and it's a bridge that's probably like 70 feet long and slopes continually upward. And it's now that you hear this rumbling, like heavy duty, like boom, 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 constant over and over again, like 1,000 drums beating 1,000 miles away and reverberating through all these different cannons, and it's just beyond your reach. And then you realize that it's wet, that your face is wet, and you suddenly put it together like, I haven't been anywhere with any mist since I left the asteroid base, and now here it is, and it's water, and it's everywhere. Do you want to follow her over the bridge?
I feel like I don't have another option.
Okay.
Because if whatever's going to happen is destined, I may as well see it through.
Okay, so you walk, she disappears through the hole. You come out through the hole, and there's this big, wide expanse of ground. It's probably 100 feet, and it slopes upwards. And as you come through this hole, you realize it stretches out to the left and right in a big plaza kind of, and up behind you, you realize that there's a big sheer wall. So the wall you just passed through was just this gigantic sheer wall, seemingly of no value. And then straight ahead, you just see a massive, roiling cauldron of water, and you hear the thrumming and the banging of this rapid river waterfall action happening. And the closer you get, she walks all the way to the edge, and you stay within maybe 20 feet of her, and you realize that you're on this giant balcony overlooking what appears to be this enormous waterfall. And you're like, where is all this water going? It's very freaky. Roll, once you get to the edge, roll another shadow check.
6.
6, and your shadow is
7.
13. Okay, do you have anything that might help you resist fear or knowledge of architecture,
I've got arcane
sanitation, waters, dam building?
Fear?
I don't. It's all.
What'd you say, Steve?
I said, can I sense her fear?
Her fear is intense. Do you want to try to calm her down or just let it ride?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll use neural manipulation and either turn off or definitely turn down her fear center.
Okay, yeah, roll a shadow check.
I didn't know he could do that.
He's
Control my emotions.
He's very talented.
I thought you just read them. Not...
10.
Say again?
I said, oh, fuck, it's a 10.
You rolled a 10, roll another d10.
4.
Okay, that's a 14 plus your shadow. Run that by me again.
I said along with my 14 shadow.
So that's 28. Your mental control, do you have any bonuses in that skill?
No, I do not.
Okay, so that's 28. Yeah, you have no fear of the precognition problem, anything. You're just totally calm all of a sudden. And you're like, whoa, that's interesting. And then you realize that stretching out away from the balcony off to your right, there's this beautiful sloping ramp, and it goes up to this crazy architectural marvel on the edge of the balcony. It's this house that's like stone and glass, and it's on these weird stilts. You feel like physics shouldn't allow it to stretch out over the chasm like this. And it's lit up all warmly, like there's a fireplace going on in there. And then the door opens, but not like a normal door that you're familiar with. It's like you hear stone spreading as if like it's being opened through some organic process and not by a slider, you know? And it just goes and opens up, and then you see the king step out, and he goes, "Oh, ho, ho, ho. Welcome, my dear. Please."
Oh, great.
She walks you over to the bottom of the ramp and motions for you to step onto it.
I do.
Okay, you step onto it. She steps on beside you, and then the bottom of it slides all the way up the curving nature of the ramp, and then butts out at the entrance to the little house. And he smiles, and he's still got his cane in one hand, and he steps back into the side to allow the both of you to enter. As you walk in, your mind is blown. Like, the door closes behind you, so you can't hear all of a sudden the sound of the waterfall just goes down to almost a tss. Like, there's no way that glass should prevent that much noise. So it's almost like he's created the most powerful seal and glass that's like a foot thick, you know, like it's amazing technological feat. And it's then that you start to think, oh, do you remember when the first APC got obliterated as you were getting your bearings?
Before we landed?
Right. You're dropped off. You and your 3 men are getting ready to like spot, and then that one APC nearest the village completely blew to pieces. What happened was this giant arm of stone came out of the ground and just rammed into it and like sent everything flying, killed a whole bunch of people.
A giant stone arm.
Yeah, and you didn't really understand what that might have been. You just thought, oh, some weird cannon or trap. But you're starting to think that this guy has the power to shape stone instantaneously.
Oh, okay.
And that's like a wicked, crazy power. And roll. You have arcane knowledge? Roll a d10 knowledge check. 4 plus your light of
12.
Okay, so that's 16. And do you have any extra points in arcane knowledge?
I put 2 little dots next to
Okay,
arcane
so that's
knowledge.
18. You're pretty sure that cane has something to do with it because you've never seen him not touching it.
Oh, the cane itself, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so he proceeds to spend the next 10 minutes whining and dining you. He's got the fanciest champagne. He's got caviar and chocolates and all sorts of delights from around the galaxy.
When I see this stuff come out,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to allow her, stand in front of her and allow her to perceive me. And then once she's aware of
Whoa. Hlina, all of a sudden the telepath from before like materializes in front of the couch that you're sitting on while Hungadirk talks about all his many wonderful exploits and brings over some refreshments for you to enjoy.
Oh, well, I'm on this mental morphine, so I'm okay. But does Hungadirk... What is... I'm kind of looked to...
Okay, so she tries to figure out if Hungadirk can see him. Hungadirk cannot see him. Steve, what happens next?
I can't remember. I noticed the chocolate sauce and something else that's poison.
You know, I was wondering that, and I was gonna, as calm as I was gonna give pause before eating anything. I don't trust the king.
Okay, Steve, so just to speed things along, I'm going to say that he's not sure which things are poison, but you probably shouldn't have any of them. And he has the bright idea to make you actually get a little queasy. So he
So I'm not hungry.
he roils your guts a little bit or whatever, so you feel like kind of grossed out.
It's like, no, I don't want any of your fish eggs. Thank you.
You could probably act. I don't know how good your acting is or persuasion
Good
or whatever.
fish
but
eggs. They don't taste like poison.
So roll a. Do you have persuasion or performance?
I have 3 dots on persuade.
Okay, so just kind of try to make it convincing that you would love to have his food and drink, but you can't.
I've had a rough several days.
Roll a d10.
0.
Oh, roll it again.
Why?
Roll it again.
I'm not that unconvincing. 5.
Oh my goodness, and he double botched.
Oh,
Things just got real interesting. So, over the course of the next hour, you essentially allow Hungadirk to think that you are a ditzy blonde, messed up on some hallucinogenic chemical, really into him, like way more into him than he even thinks you probably should be, but like not too much, so it's not fake. And Steve kind of walks you through. Essentially, he tried to do the same thing to them. And eventually, when he thinks he has you hooked, he gives you the ask. He says, "Darling, I've enjoyed our time together so much. I can't tell you. I want to allow you and your men to return to where you came from, safe, unharmed. And I want to send you home with the possibility of future trade, goods, communication of our peoples. I want the people you come from to know that we can coexist. But these brothers of light, they're my real trouble. They've caused an awful lot of problems. And there may come a time in the next few days when they will reveal themselves to be not just my enemy, not just your enemy, but enemies of the entire galaxy. If that moment comes, I would ask you and your men to support me and to ensure that they don't do whatever it is that they've come here to do. Can I count on you? Well,
You
consider
want
it.
them to- okay.
Just think it over. We'll talk again soon. And then he reaches in, and you think, like, all he is doing this for is to, like, try to get some, and he doesn't. Like, I mean, he gives the impression like he'd be available to it, but, like, he's got 5 wives. He's covered in that department. So, and that's pretty much it. You could either sleep it off, quote unquote, on the couch, or you could ask to leave. I don't know what your play is from here on out.
Am I still playing the ditzy sort
I
of?
mean, the whole time you've been
Still
acting
doing-
like you're on drugs.
So I can't share my thoughts with him, but obviously I don't trust him. I could... How many men do I have left?
You have 10.
10 left. Okay, I thought I started with 40, didn't I?
Yeah. Or no, you have 11. That guy that was in your cell is the other one.
Oh, we're taking him too? Oh, he was ours? Okay. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make sure my men are safe.
You tell him that?
Yes.
Okay. He takes your hand and he says, "You're doing the right thing. I know that all the pictures and the television shows, they claim that these brothers of light are wonderful. But I have received other information, and you will too.
Well, they killed a lot of my people.
They have indeed. Keep your eyes peeled. I will come for you. And then he claps, and Millicite comes back in and helps you to your feet and walks you back to the village. The next day, bum, bum, bum. Steve, do you have anything to tell her before she goes back to bed?
I couldn't hear anything she said. It broke off.
Do you have anything you want to tell her character before the next day happens and y'all go to the door to the fortress? Nope. All right. The next day, I mean, a few hours later, basically. I don't even know if you'd be able to get sleep, but it's up to you. You could try. Either way, you're hella groggy. And the next day you find out that as they're putting the whole expedition together, they've put you and the other officer, the Yefrit, together, and you have to serve Yifrim. Like, the king has basically given the two of you to him. And so, luckily Rail's there. He's not terrible, but you're not looking forward to this. Apparently, you're all going to escort the Brothers of Light to the fortress, and there's something down there the king thinks they should see. So, after the expedition's ready, everybody gets set to go. And this giant robot guy that you saw in the square when you got captured, he's leading this expedition. And they go past this dig site where you instantly look around and you're like, oh, I could tell that people have been murdered here. Like, it's kind of been left how it was, except for some of the gear has been taken away. But you see the pit where the statue must have been taken from. You see bedrolls and things. You meet Tafsa Ondasa, who's the other survivor of that party.
Cameron.
Yeah.
Okay.
You knew he was one of the science team people. Yeah. And he is a Mistral as well. But they don't seem to be chummy for whatever reason, he and this other guy. But that Mistral is like super chummy with the Brothers of Light. So that's interesting. Anyway, you get to the fortress, and as you come up on the fortress, the rolling hills of rocks give way, and you just see this enormous facade. I mean, it must be like 500 feet tall, 2,500 feet wide, and you're basically at dead center, but you've gone down this long, skinny valley or chasm or fissure or whatever, and at the very base of this enormous facade, there are these doors that are like Mines of Moria big doors, like 100 feet tall. The king stands up in front of everybody. All the bearers and the guards and everybody fan out. Most of your troops are being kept at the village. A couple of them have been pressed into service, but most of these people are Gillamorians, and then these heroes. And Hungadirk gives a speech. He says, "Friends, old and new, family, believers, and," he points to all y'all, "non-believers, we have come here to give witness to an ancient power, a power that has always dwelt here in the heart of the Yonaseed. This power has called so many to it for so many generations, and now it calls forth these great men, the Brothers of Light, and their companions. Friends, welcome to the Deepwell Fortress." And then he points to the doors, and the metal man walks up, puts his hands up as if he's like a priest or somebody, like holding up his hands, like praying to some ancient deity. The crowd is just like rapt. Nobody's saying a word. Hungadirk looks kind of bored, which is odd, but the metal man puts his hands up, and about 3 seconds into this weird little display, the doors start to open, and you hear all these gears and movements. And as the doors open, dust and shit rains down. And once the doors are open, the metal man turns around and says, I can't remember what he said, something like, "That's how you do it." And the crowd is just like, "Oh!" Like he's some kind of savior. There should be harp music going on, I think, or a choir of angels. And Hungadurk laughs, claps his hands, and you all start going through the doors. Steve?
Yes?
Thanks for playing, my man.
Sure.
How do people find you, Steve?
On Facebook, Stephen Matthews with 1 T.
Okay. Karen?
Same thing. On Facebook, I have a public comedian profile and I have a personal profile, both Karen Zoe Lee.
Cool.
Also can be reached at karenzoelee@gmail.com.
Very nice. Go to our group page on Facebook, Shattered Worlds RPG. Become one of the legendary heroes. Gang, you could be on the show. You can call in. You can come by the studio. Guest spot, maybe all the time if you're funny or interesting or both, like our wonderful players. Guys, I've had a great time. If people want to get involved in this show, everythingisawesomepodcast@gmail.com. Put Shattered Worlds in the subject line. And tweet us at EIA Podcast. Go to our website, awesomepod.squarespace.com. Get all the episodes over at shatteredworlds.libsyn.com. All that stuff can be found through our Facebook. And if you'd like to see, we did some Facebook living tonight. That's up there as well. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for supporting the show. You guys are great. Karen, Steve.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Thank you.
Keep it rolling.
Quiet little voices creep into my head. I'm young
It looks like you're holding giant nuts.
That's, oh,